Guys, back again, and today we are going to be taking this chunk of leaf spring and making a orc sword from Lord of the Rings, or a Uruk-Hai sword with that hook on the back, or that point on the back. I've seen this done a bunch of different ways with a bunch of different handle designs. Seems pretty fun and simple, and one of my buddies is a huge Lord of the Rings fan, has always wanted one of these, so we're going to make him a real one. Do anything else, I'm going to take my angle grinder and make a cut right here. I could do this at the forge hot, but I just prefer to do this beforehand with leaf spring, so that way I don't risk cracking anything more so than I have to. Alrighty, so we've got that cut. We've got our section right here that's going to become the spike. Just chop that in with an angle grinder. So since leaf springs come hardened and tempered, they're already heat treated in factory to go on the vehicle. I'm actually gonna anneal this before I start working it. What that is just heating the piece up past its critical temperature and then letting it cool down to room temperature and repeating the process at lower and lower temperatures to kind of reset that grain structure to something more workable and something that's gonna be easier to move around. That way when I go to heat treat it later, I don't break it. As you can see, I've just gone over to the vise and split that a little more. I'm getting it heated back up for another run. So the first thing I'm going to do is just bring it over to the corner of my anvil and just open that up. That way I can start to use the side of my anvil to draw that down over the next couple heats, trying to keep everything even as I go. Now I'm going to begin the long process of drawing all of this out and thinning it out to make a suitable thickness for a blade, as well as create a distal taper over the length of the whole thing. Hang on folks, this is going to take a minute. So we're making this out of that chunk of leaf spring. Leaf spring, you have to work real hot in order to get it to move. It is a very stubborn steel. We're only going for about a 12-inch blade on this specific blade. So lucky me, I don't have to draw it out super long and thin because I only have my hand hammer. So you'll see here I'm going to use the cross peen side of the hammer just to start thinning it up a little bit start drawing that material out the direction that I want it. Yes, this does leave major hammer marks in the material, but since I take it over to the horn after this and use the rounding side of the hammer to get rid of all those markings, it doesn't really leave any blemishes, so to speak. So now I'm just drawing that profile back down again, making sure that that blade stays as thin as we want it, because we want that spike to have a very smooth taper in between where the spike meets the back of the blade with just a little bit of an angle. We don't want it to have this massive lean it has now.
So as you may have guessed, I'm only going to be doing a short sword version of this. I'm not going to be doing, you know, a full 3-foot sword. I just don't have a treadle hammer. I don't have a power hammer. I do it all by hand, and I'm swinging a 4.5 pound right now. So it's a lot of work to get this leaf spring to move, but it is well worth it. Leaf spring is a really good steel for swords. Since it is a spring steel, it has a lot of flexile qualities to it when it's heat treated correctly. So it allows it to bend and flex better than other types of tool steel that aren't a spring steel. Drawn out to about the length we're looking for. I've already gone ahead and started the beveling. I'm just going to finish that on camera, and then once I get the beveling done and get the spine line back up with the bevel, I'm going to move on to the other side. I'm going to have to let it cool down and anneal that side. I'm going to work for the handle, so that way I can grab the piece of stock, because I'm not using tongs for this project, I'm just using a glove. So I'm just going to finish this section up, and depending on how much time we have left, it might be the end of the video. We'll see how it goes.
So now what you're seeing is the age-old trick of smacking the crap out of it against the top of your anvil to straighten it. If your sword curves up on you like a banana when you're putting the bevel on, usually it means you didn't thin the spine enough before you finished, but in some cases if you want the spine to be thicker, you can always just hit it on the anvil like that to straighten it.
I've gone ahead
Works with all
and
kinds
cut
of different
off the
blades.
excess, so that way I'm not having all that extra weight. And my buddy I'm making this for agreed to be a little bit of a striker for me to help me draw this handle down, because I don't know if you can see all these lovely big old blisters on my hands that are forming. If not, I'll take a picture. It's kind of hard to see on video, but he's gonna help me out with drawing this down so we can get this worked out today.
One hour later.
And now I'm just putting the finishing touches on it. There was just a little bit of edge down here that needed to be beveled in between the transition point from where the edge meets the handle. I just didn't bevel it before, so that way So I've gone ahead and hardened that, gone ahead and tempered it. I'm gonna finish it up off camera, and then I will show you guys just some choppy chops that we do over here in the log to make sure everything holds. After that, it's gonna be the end of the video. So God bless, love you guys, stay safe. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss when I drop new videos. Stay safe out there. God bless.